As Game of Thrones Season 3 comes to a close, we thought we'd have a discussion about the elements of the show that we liked and disliked. Be warned, there will be spoilers of the show in this discussion. So we'll start off by what each of us at the PFM crew liked and disliked about this season. Tom?
One of my big dislikes, in fact, literally in the interim, like the past few seconds, I literally just thought about this, but it ties into the fact that like a lot of characters are kind of stuck in that situation. Theon, obviously, all season is tortured by, Ramsay Bolton, who is revealed at the end. There's your first spoiler for you. We're just going to spoil it for the sake of spoiling it. Theon's tied up all season. Sansa is kind of bounced around between, she's essentially just a tool.
She's just a piece in the game.
In the game. And a lot of characters, it just felt like Bran didn't feel like he was really going. It was only in the last episode that like he got beyond the wall, and we did learn kind of specific, things about his powers and stuff. But when I think about it, I'm like, what actually happened? Obviously we had the Red Wedding, which brought an end to a few characters, but they didn't really do much this season, other than kind of, the whole Cat and Rob kind of like, falling out kind of thing. Nothing really happened, and then, they died. Spoilers. And Tyrion got married to Sansa, and
Did you like anything about this season?
No, I didn't. No.
Just not worth watching. Nothing happens. Really.
One of my favorite things was Jaime, because he was the only character to really change this season. And his whole thing with Brienne was great, and I'm really excited to see how, now that he's back with the Lannisters, how the changes he's gone through is going to change that. Always it's been great writing, great set pieces, but overall I feel like the story didn't go anywhere as much as, say, season 1 I still think is my favorite. And that, there was a lot that changed. The only real big game changer at the end was Rob being dead.
So, Izzy, what did you think about the season?
Well, I actually agree with Tom on Sansa. She's been playing the ignorance card for so long, and she just kind of sits there and accepts her fate, unlike Arya, who was able to escape, and now she's just like this really murderous little kid who is now, spoiler, she's stuck with the Hound right now, and he's trying to get her into some sort of hostage situation that he can benefit. Of course, right now he's just protecting her, but still, that dynamic is there, and it's really interesting, because she wants to kill him. He really doesn't want to give a care about her.
I think your guys' problems with the season mainly stem from the fact that it's a book that's being divided into 2 seasons, whereas in the previous seasons they've been 1 book per season. So it's difficult for them to find finite endings. Finite endings to specific characters.
Especially the last episode where it ends on kind of Dany freeing the people. There was no, season 1 we got her with the dragons.
Yeah.
Season 2 we saw the
White Walker army.
And so it was just, especially after the Red Wedding, where Rob and Cat died. Just spoiling for everyone.
I'd never.
And his wife, which was cool. Just the last shot, even though it was cool when it pulled out, I was like, oh.
It didn't really lead to anything. Yeah. It didn't really lend anything to the next season. But
I was more focused on characters, just thinking about least and most favorite, because Sansa plays the ignorance card for so long, unlike her siblings, which are, they're not necessarily having the most exciting storylines.
But I know Michaela really liked Jon Snow. Sorry, Izzy, but do you want to mention that? No, go ahead. No, sorry.
I was going to say, my most favorite is the Tyrells right now.
Oh.
Marjorie is able to manipulate Joffrey, which she's probably the only person, aside from Tywin, really, but she's doing it in such a way where he doesn't know that he's being talked down to, which is.
I don't think Tywin necessarily manipulates Joffrey.
No.
He just
kind of orders him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like
overhead.
He's like a king doesn't. You're not a king.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take care of this.
Like Marjorie, subconsciously is kind of forming Joffrey into. He will never not be
Joffrey.
The biggest douchebag on the planet, but she can make him do what he wants.
Yeah, Marjorie also
and make it seem like his idea.
She manipulates Joffrey, but then she also sets herself up to where she could possibly be the queen of King's Landing, because she does that. It was just one scene, but it seems like it could lend itself later, where she does set herself up as a humanitarian. She goes into the orphanage, and she just doesn't care about whether her clothes get dirty. But I mean, she's able to just manipulate other people's opinions about it, which I think was really great. And
I think
her grandmother. No, let me just get this about her grandmother. I love the grandmother, the Queen of Thorns, because was the first person in the season, at least when she first appeared, who was just like, you know what, all this crap is happening, all this drama. I'm just gonna tell you how it is, and you can take it or leave it, and I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And I just loved her for that.
I think the whole Tyrell dynamic with the Lannisters is really interesting, because on the one hand you have how Tywin interacts with the Queen of Thorns, and then you have how Tywin tries to control Joffrey, and then you have how Marjorie does it, and they're really different approaches, but those weren't really my favorite. Those were just in the middle of the line for how I felt about the season. My favorite thing about the season was Jon Snow and Ygritte, except for the end, which I was really upset about. And then on the other side of the coin, my kind of controversial least favorite was the Robb Stark campaign, which kind of bored me a little bit, but I liked the end.
So, really quick, one prediction, something you'd like to see next season.
Something I'd like to see next season. I mean, like, it's kind of, it's tough because, like, it's like, what I think I'd like to happen, does anyone else have an answer real quick?
Michaela?
And then I can...
I'd like to see more Arya and the Hound. I think they have a really unique relationship, and they're both really interesting, so I want to see how that develops.
Izzy?
I kind of want to see more with the advisor for Stannis. He was imprisoned. Davos, yes. He was imprisoned, and then he learned how to read, and now he just totally changed Stannis's his goal orientation for the war and where he's going. So I want to see more of Davos and Stannis's
I
part.
have a thing. Now, the Brotherhood of
Without
Freedom,
banners.
Brotherhood Without Banners. I want to see more of them. They were really cool. That's totally the group I'd be in if I was in the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of them and see how they play into all of the games.
The Game of Thrones.
For more Game of Thrones discussions, check us out on our website, pretentiousfilmmajors.com, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.